The foggy morning drifted slowly over the city, and the first rays of sunlight barely touched the tips of the skyscrapers. Leonard Volkov stood by the panoramic window of his penthouse, looking like a man carrying the whole world on his shoulders. Perfect suit, frozen expression, steel-cold eyes. But inside he was hollow, empty in a way no success, no power, no millions could ever fill. They called him the king of investments, a man who never lost. Only he knew that his biggest defeat was invisible. A diagnosis that shattered the dream of his entire life. Infertility. A word that felt less like a medical condition and more like a sentence on his soul. He heard it 3 years ago, but the pain hadn't softened. He buried himself in work, buying companies, closing deals, expanding an empire, anything to avoid thinking about what he would never have. But tonight, at this charity gala, the loneliness felt heavier than usual. He didn't want to go, but status demanded it. And still, something unseen pulled him there, toward a fate he didn't yet understand. The event glowed with gold light. Crystal chandeliers, polished glasses, murmurs wrapped in expensive fabric. Leonard moved through the crowd, reading people on autopilot, smiling where required, saying all the right things. Then he heard it. A small, frightened gasp. Cold liquid trickled down his sleeve. A girl in a simple white blouse stood in front of him, hands pressed to her mouth as if afraid to breathe. Champagne slid in a thin stream down his cuff. "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." Her voice trembled like a child's, and somehow that caught him off guard. He looked at her carefully. Large, confused eyes, soft features, her hair falling from a badly pinned ponytail. She clearly wasn't a guest. A server, nothing more. And yet there was something about her that felt bright, sincere, real. A word he hadn't used for anyone in years. "It's fine." For the first time in a long while, he let out an honest laugh. "It's just a suit, not my life." She didn't believe him. She looked like she feared being fired, fined, or humiliated. "Let me clean it," she blurted, reaching for a napkin. He gently stopped her. "No need. What's your name?" She froze, not expecting that someone like him would ever ask. "Eva," she whispered. He repeated her name as if tasting it. "Beautiful." Eva blushed and lowered her gaze. In a hall full of wealthy pretenders, she suddenly felt like the only genuine soul in the room. "It's stuffy here," he said unexpectedly. "Want to step onto the rooftop? There's an exit upstairs. You look like you could use a break?" She flinched. Maybe from fear of breaking rules, maybe from surprise. "But I'm working." "5 minutes," he said softly. "Just air. No obligations." After a long hesitation, she nodded and followed him, walking up the stairs. Eva looked like she was crossing the edge of what she was allowed, as if one wrong word would send her back, but everything changed on the roof. The night breeze played with her hair. The city roared below, but up here there was peace she had been craving. Eva closed her eyes for a moment and finally breathed freely. "Are you scared?" he asked. She flushed. "You're different. Not like the others?" They looked down at everyone. "You actually see." Something inside him stirred. "I haven't truly seen anyone in years," he admitted. "And no one has looked at me like you just did." He didn't realize when he crossed the line that usually protected him from people. Words spilled out. That he was tired. That the world was too loud. That loneliness chewed at him every day. Eva listened quietly, honestly, without pretending. "It must be hard for you," she said gently. She knew nothing of his diagnosis, nothing of his wounds, but her soft, warm voice was stronger than any doctor's sympathy. He touched her hand by accident. Eva froze. Their eyes met. Something formed between them that didn't need translation. The night continued without rush, without fear. He was gentle, almost fragile, as if afraid to touch too harshly. She was timid but trusting, feeling she was safe near him. By dawn, Eva slipped away, leaving a short note on the pillow. "Thank you for your kindness. I have to go." "Don't look for me." He read it dozens of times, but never searched for her. He convinced himself that miracles come once and never return. He was wrong. 5 years passed like a heartbeat, though for Leonard they crawled painfully slow. Business grew. Profits soared. His empire spread like wildfire. The life that once felt enough now tasted like dust. He tried to forget Eva. He failed. Then on an ordinary workday, the impossible walked into his office, Eva and a little boy. About 4, hiding behind her leg, she held a folder of documents. Neatly arranged papers that carried a truth he couldn't have imagined. Leonard froze. He recognized her instantly. Same eyes, same soft face. His heart, hardened by years, thudded wildly. "Leonard Volkov," Eva said firmly, though her voice shook. "I came to tell you the truth." He couldn't look away. She wasn't the shy server he once met. She stood tall, confident, glowing with quiet strength, but the boy behind her, he was unmistakably his. The dark hair, the skin tone, the eyes that carried a piece of Leonard's soul. Whoa. What does this mean? He choked. Eva held out the folder. Tests, medical records, DNA results. The kind of proof a man like Leonard trusted. His eyes filled with tears as reality crashed into him. "He's your son," Eva said softly. "I didn't come for money. I never wanted anything from you. But you deserve to know he exists. He's a miracle, Leonard. A miracle that began that night." The boy stepped forward, sensing the tension. His small hand trembled as he reached for Leonard. "Mama says you're good," he whispered. "Are you really my dad?" Leonard's heart clenched, then shattered. He dropped to his knees, forgetting the suit, the status, the empire. Forgetting everything except this child. "Yes," he managed, barely holding his voice steady. "Yes, I'm your father. And I want to be here, always." Eva smiled for the first time in years. The loneliness she carried for so long finally lifted. She had given her son a chance at life. And now Leonard finally had a chance at a family he'd wanted all along. The boy hugged him gently. Leonard held him as if holding the whole world. In that moment, power, money, prestige faded into nothing. He rose, holding his son, then met Eva's eyes. "If you'll let me," he said quietly, "I want to be part of your lives." Eva nodded. Peace finally settled in her heart. They were no longer strangers crossing paths. They were a family, and as the office doors closed behind them, everything else lost its meaning. Only love, trust, and the promise of staying together mattered. Sunlight streamed through the window, lighting their faces. For the first time in years, the world felt warm again. The past full of pain was behind them. The future opened bright and clear. A new life began with every glance, every smile, every touch.